Uh,
Hello and welcome back to the Willie Morgan Show with Manchester United icon Willie Morgan. Plenty to discuss. Scotland are unfortunately out of the Euros since our last show. England prepare to face Germany. There's a few key Manchester United issues on the agenda as well. But first of all, Willie, how are you?
well, I'm very well, apart from I played golf. I was down at Birkdale this week, which is obviously always a privilege, beautiful golf course. Unfortunately, uh, I didn't put any sun lotion on, and it was blowing a gale and sunny, and a burn on my face. So I'm peeling. So I know the listeners, it won't make any difference to you, but anyone watching on YouTube, Cage didn't give me a beating, honestly. It is the sun. And now it started to peel. I look like I've been battered by the wife. Anyway, but the nice thing, I ran into two old friends, Callum.
Oh,
Alan Hansen from Socky and Kenny Dalglish. They were playing in the same tournament. It was a Prince's Trust thing. And my team, Goods, Mark, and Steve, we go down there every year. So, but Alan and Kenny look well. They look very well. None of us won, by the way. So I think too many bandits. So and other than that, yeah, I've just got a nice big hello to some guys from NG Bailey, and they're down in Berkshire at the moment. So if you're listening or you're watching, I hope you're getting well taken care of down there, lads. And any problems, see John McLaughlin. Okay.
always wise. Um,
Yeah, always wise, yeah.
just on the first main talking point for today in Scotland, we mentioned it in the intro. Unfortunately, the game against Croatia was hard to take, going one each at half time, and then the Croats sort of took control in the second half. Do you think Scotland can look back in the tournament overall with a bit of pride, given the fact that they performed so well at Wembley, or is it another missed opportunity?
Well, um, I actually watched the whole game against England, and they did very well. And again, like we said in the last pod, they should have won the first game. The game should have been over. We had three or four great chances before they scored in the first game, which would have changed the whole complex. The last game, we didn't look. They're not a great team. We know that. We know that. But they tried. They did their best. Um, I think just to get there, I think Clark's done a great job just to get us there, and they performed. I say the first two games, obviously the England game was great, and we should have beat them as well. We should have won the first two games, and we could have gone through to the knockout stages. We didn't, and it's a start. It gives them something to build on. Obviously, a lot of the lads, they're not international players, but he can only work with what he's got. For a Dennis Law there, my God, we would have been through the knockout. So anyway, I think it's a great start, and I think they should be. You know what was great? Just watching the supporters, Callum, how much it means to them. They're fantastic. They do have phenomenal support, Scotland. So to all the people, all the Scottish supporters, don't be down. I think we did great, and I think, as I said, we could have won the first two games. So it's a great start. Roll on the World Cup.
Rule on the World Cup, indeed. Hopefully, we can get there. Just on Steve Clark, there's been chat in Scotland as to whether he should stay on. There's been talk he could be offered a new contract that would take him to the World Cup, maybe the next Euros. After what you've seen in this tournament, do you think he deserves a chance to continue with the team?
Of course, I think he's done fantastic to get us there in the first place. Give him a break. He can only work with what he's got. He's not exactly got Pelé and Cruyff and Bestie and Bobby Charlton and Dennis Law to work with, is he? He can only work with what he's got. Obviously, we're not the greatest. And I don't want to criticise anyone because everybody tried. No, of course, you should get another contract. What are you going to do? Give it back to Bertie Volks again? Bring him back? Yeah, that'd be good. No, give the guy a chance. Let him get on with it. Let him develop more young players, wherever they are. Doesn't matter where you're playing, as long as you can play. And I hope he doesn't try to coach them too much. Just pick good players and pick a great blend and let them get on with it. So, no, give him another contract. Other than that, you and me said before, we'll just have to apply for the job and take it over, Callum.
Absolutely, I would fancy that, and I think we could have even won at Wembley. And staying on Wembley, England, of course, we drew against Scotland. They went through in the group. They face Germany tomorrow night. We're recording this on Monday, so it'll go out tonight. So tomorrow, England versus Germany. Do you think England have got an opportunity to beat Germany? And if they do, could they go the full way? Because they're half of the draw. You have Denmark, you have Sweden, you have teams that Czech Republic that you would maybe expect England to beat. Is that fair?
We could beat them. Never mind England. There's no great team in it. There's no great team. They're all very much of a sameness. Anyone can beat anyone. As far as now, I have to be careful about England here, as you well know. My family, all being English, I've got to be kind. I've been warned. Be nice. Do I think England can win it? Well, it'd be more difficult this time. They don't have the referee and the two linesmen from '64. I think they've gone now. So they're only playing with 11 men now. And it makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm in deep trouble now. I know I am. My wife is throwing daggers at me. No, good luck to them, obviously, for all the English supporters and my family. So, do I think I've told you, I think it'll be someone no one's expecting that will win it. They're all very much of the sameness. I watched a bit of the match Portugal last night, and I watched the Netherlands get beaten all. They're all very much of a sameness. They go backwards, sideways. They go anywhere bar forward. It's crazy. It's dreadful to watch. I mean, unless you want to go to sleep, it's fantastic sleeping pill watching football at the moment. So now England, I think they've got as good a chance as anyone because there is no one outstanding team. So they've got home advantage. The only unfortunate thing, I think Maguire and Henderson are fit again, aren't they? So that's probably a disadvantage for them. But other than that, sorry, I'm getting daggers again. I'm not supposed to say things like that. So, all you people listening, my wife is throwing daggers at me here. So, big England fan, anyway. No, they've got as much chance as anyone. As I say, it's very open. Anyone can beat anyone.
You mentioned watching Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 109 international goals, the record with Ali Dai, who's from Iran. He's also scored the most goals in the European Cup. Where does he rank among the all-time greats? In your opinion, does he rank in that all-time greats along with the likes, I know Messi from this generation, Pele, Maradona? Is he up there in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, he's up there as a goal scorer. He's not in the same league as Messi as a player. Messi do everything. He can't do that, but he's a great finisher. He's up there with Gerd Müller, Jimmy Greaves, Dennis Law. The finishers. He is a goal scorer. Great player. Yeah, because it's one of those crazy things. Is he an all-round Great football? No, he's not the same world as Pele or Messi or Cruyff and Maradona. But as a finisher, yeah, he's up with the finishers. His record proves it. So would I? I mean, I watched him, and again, it's like anyone else, like Harry Kane. Without service, you wouldn't know he was playing. He did nothing last night, absolutely nothing. But he needs, you have to have people around you. You have to have people creating chances for you. The one thing about him, he does take chances. And yeah, he's up there with the great finishers. So, and I like him in my team as a finisher. I wouldn't like him in my team creating goals for other people because he doesn't. So it's a, do you want him in your team? Would I have him or Jimmy Greaves? Jimmy Greaves.
Well, I think with Jimmy Greaves, he's a player who you've spoken about in previous shows, and so many people have spoken about over the years as being, well, let's be honest, probably the greatest English finisher of all time. Obviously, in terms of greatest England player, you could talk about Bobby. There are others that would be mentioned. Obviously, that '66 team, but Jimmy Greaves as a finisher is probably, it's got to be England's best ever finisher.
Not just a finisher. The thing about Jimmy Greaves, he could play, he could create, he could dribble, and he could finish. So he had everything. He was an all-round great player. So, which is slightly different. The finishers, the people who just, Gerd Müller, outside the box, he wouldn't get a kick. In the box, he was lethal. He was fantastic in the box because he created room for himself and great goal scorer. You wouldn't want him playing in midfield because he'd be deadly. So, horses for courses, and I said it's a blend. It's a blend. The whole game's about scoring goals. At the end of the day, goal scoring is what it's all about. So if you get anyone who scores goals, it's a bonus. I mean, that's the end product. So I always remember Frankie Farrell, I think, saying, we're talking about Puskas, all he does is score goals. Really, Frank? Just a minute. Let me have a think about that. Oh, stupid statement. So it's having everything. I mean, if you want entertainment, then you want people who could dribble and because it's great to watch. If you want just to win, then you need goals. You need someone putting the ball in the back of the net at the end of the day. So, and Ronaldo, to go back to him, yeah, he does that. He does that. Messi does that, but he does everything else. He creates, he can build, he knits the team together. He's a different type, completely different. He's the best player in the world by miles. He is Pele personified.
And just on a goal scorer who obviously plays in England, he's going to be playing for England, leading the line tomorrow evening. Harry Kane expected to join Manchester City this summer if he leaves Tottenham. Manchester City prepared to pay £100 million and also give Tottenham a player in exchange. At that kind of price, should Manchester United consider matching it and going for him? Or would you say, great finisher, he's 28, I don't quite think I would pay that level of money for him?
I wouldn't pay that level of money for him if he was 21, never mind 28. Yeah, he's all right. He scored a few goals. He's not my type of player. He's not my type of player. He never looks the part. I don't know why or what. He just never looks the part. Good luck to City. I hope they get him. I don't leave him at City. And, he'll be all right there because they do create chances. Man United, as a centre forward, no matter who's centre forward, you're struggling because there are not too many players in our team at the moment who are creating chances for people. They're relying on fullbacks and they don't create too many chances. So he'd be better off at City than he would be at Man United. But would I pay that for him? Not in a million years, or not in 100 million years, Callum.
I like that one. Just on Manchester United, it looks as if the club are going to sign Jadon Sancho, who will be the first natural right-sided player the club's had in many years. He's obviously came through at Manchester City as a youngster, went to Dortmund last season. He I think it was 18 goals and 22 assists, so he had a good season. But in terms of Dortmund standards, he was the best output in terms of assists. In terms of goals, obviously they've got a few ahead of him, but still a decent output for a midfielder. The fee is going to be around £77 million, but United were quoted £120 million last summer, so the fees came down. They're getting a player who's natural on that right-hand side. Overall, is that the sort of signing you feel that the club should be making?
Well, there's two things. Why did Man City let him go? Another Pogba. Now they want, somebody wants to bring him back. Is he in the England team?
He's only played 7 minutes of football so far.
Okay, I rest my case, Your Honour. Why is he not in the England team if he's that good? He'd be the first person in your team, wouldn't he? If I was the manager and a player's that good, he'd be the first name on the sheet. Why is he not on the England sheet? Why did Man City let him go? I don't know. Hey, listen, I if he does come, I hope that it works and that he does the job that they'll buy him for. Obviously, you want him to be successful for us. But if he was that good, why is he not playing for England? England's not exactly the best team in the world. England's got nothing, and he can't get in the team. Callum.
It's a very fair point, I have to say. I think it's a point that has been made towards Gareth Southgate, and Gareth Southgate's answer to that question was, I don't think he's got enough experience to start these kind of matches, which has annoyed people because he's been playing in the Champions League now for 2 or 3 seasons.
Hey, listen. Gareth Southgate, couldn't play himself, and now he's a coach. Coach. He's not a manager. He's a coach. Now, he might be a very nice guy. He hasn't got a clue. Just look at the England team. He hasn't got a clue. And if this lad can play, if he can play, I don't know. I've not seen anything of him, so it's very difficult for me to judge the lad. I don't want to judge him, obviously, because I can't. He'd be the first name on the team sheet. So for Southgate to come up with some lame excuse, why have you got him in the squad then? Why is he there? If he's not good enough to play for you, why is he there? Go and get Stevie Wonder in your squad. Oh, go and get the referee from 1964. He was brilliant. Do you think he'd get a game in Gareth's team? All right, okay. Sorry, family. Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Oh, I make that the hat trick tonight. Another big talking point from Manchester United news this week has been Luke Shaw's comments about Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was very critical of Luke Shaw, said he wasn't fit enough, said he wasn't good enough, said that he could only play well when Mourinho was on the touchline with him, and he said that Shaw could only play with my brain. Shaw's came out this week and said that he doesn't understand why Mourinho keeps criticising him, even though he's not managed him now for 3 seasons. As a player, would it annoy you if a manager that you had previously kept going on and on and on about your performance? And would you, like Shaw, be tempted to sort of snipe back and try and end the feud, if that's what you want to call it?
First of all, it would never happen in my case, so I can't comment on that. No manager ever said, oh, he couldn't play. Obviously, a different scenario. As far as Mourinho's concerned, I agree 100% with him. Look, Shaw, I'm going to be kind. He's average, and I'm being very kind. Average. and he always looks overweight. He always has looked overweight. For me, not in a million years. I would love to play against him every day of the year. Have I answered your question, Gavin?
You absolutely have, and that's what I love. It's always you always give a direct answer. Just on, so we understand your opinion on Shaw. Just on Mourinho, do you think he should move on? Do you think there's a need for him to continually criticise a player when he's not managing him anymore? Is there a need for that?
I think he should move on. We have a pub at the corner here called the Swan, and I think he should move on and he should manage the Swan. He might be all right at the Swan because they've got one or two waiters who play, and some of the customers, I think, join in to play. And he'd be a great manager for them. Other than that, he's a boring non-entity. And as far as Luke Shaw's concerned, if I was him, I wouldn't take any notice. I'd just laugh at him. I would just laugh at him. It can't affect his career in any way, shape, or form. He's just a bitter, bitter man. So he couldn't do the job. You know what we think about him. His team plays behind his goalie. So he's the most offensive, dreadful. Every team he goes to, dreadful to watch. Dreadful to watch. Yeah, we know he's won a few things, but I tell you what, he'd bore you to death doing it. So why would anyone, never mind Luke Shaw, worry about what somebody like Mourinho would say?
That's a very fair point, and come to so many questions that we've got coming in again from our listeners. Matt United 20 listens every show. Thanks again, Matt, for another question. He wants to know, Willie, would you sell Anthony Martial this summer?
No, I would have sold him 10 years ago, Matt. Get rid of him. He's a non-entity. He's a non-entity. He's a nuisance value when he's on the pitch. Would I sell him? Matt, in a second. In fact, I wouldn't sell him, Matt. I'd give him away. Just to make sure he'd go. So, nah, get rid of him.
John Bleasdale, who was on the show for our Scotland specials, got in touch. Do you think Kieran Tierney can go to a club performing at a higher level than Arsenal? I'll answer that first part, John. I definitely do. I think he's definitely got another move in him. I think he's an exceptional player. And the question that he's got that's linked to United that I'll pass to you, Willie, would you take Kieran Tierney ahead of Luke Shaw at Manchester United?
John, you've heard what I said before. I take Stevie Wonder before Luke Shaw at Manchester United. So, yes, no brainer. I'd have Tierney in a second.
I think that's something that I think is a fair point. I think Tierney is going to go on, and I think he's got one more move in him, but he's just signed a contract, Willie, worth a reported £110,000 per week.
Good luck to him. You know, the one thing, I mean, my comments about about them as players, not as people. Good luck to them. What they earn, what people want to pay them, good luck to them. Just don't tell me how good a player these people are, because they're not. They're very, very average. Very average, most of them. But as far as what they earn, no, good luck to them. I think it's great. And great for the families, great for everything. You know, good luck. So I don't have a problem with that. It's just tell me how great they are, and then they come on and it's like watching grass grow. So, but Tierney, yeah, he did very well in the games with Scotland there, and you know, John, I want my fullbacks to be defenders, not glorified half wingers. I want to be defenders and stop the opposition. I'll get two wingers to attack and cross the ball. I don't need a fullback. It's wing back or whatever they call themselves these days. It's crazy. It's coaches dreaming up these things. Why do I want a fullback to cross the ball? I want a winger to cross the ball, or one of your midfield players or halfbacks as we had back then. I want my fullback to defend and have a solid defence. That's number one. And that's where people like Luke Shaw and nearly all of them, they can't defend. Mind you, they don't have a lot of wingers to play against, but when they do, they struggle. They really struggle. So, anyway, Tierney, yes, I like him.
Another big fan of the show, Kevin Watson, gets in touch every single week. He's saying, but we've already addressed the Jadon Sancho part. Which other positions do you think United need to sort this summer?
Oh, Kevin, where do you want me to start? We got lots of positions. The whole back four. Saka, yeah, he gets away. Again, it's defending. He dives in all the time. The back four, Maguire, well, you know what I think of Maguire. We just need, the midfield, I don't know what's happening with people like Matic and Fred, where he's going to keep them, because they shouldn't be there. And up front, well, Martial, we spoke about earlier on, I was asking about Martial, I'd get rid of him. We need, hopefully, if Sancho, whatever his name is, if he does come and he can take people on and create chances, he'd be priceless. He'd be fantastic. I think we need at least 6 players. I do. I think we need 6 players to be able to win the league, not just be thereabout, but to actually contest to win the league. But we need to start at the back. Anyone who attacks it, we give goals away, right, left, and centre. So I hope that Ollie he buys some good players this summer. He really has, but he has to get rid of players as well. He's not good just buying them in. He's got to get rid of them. You've got so many, not even average, the below average players at the club at the moment, and he's got to get rid of them. The other one being Pogba. He wouldn't be in my team in a million years. He'd be gone in a second. I'd have him gone. He's a showboat. Didn't do nothing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens and see what we start with. And I mean, I think he's done a great job. Just to finish second was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I hope we can improve in it, Kevin. There's not a lot to beat out there. You know that. It's just consistency, being and having a good break, not getting too many injuries. There's lots of things going to winning the league, but I think he's on the right track. He's on the right track. So keep my fingers crossed for him.
George Nuttall got in touch to ask about Sancho. We've covered that, George. As Willie said, if he can come in and create chances from the right-hand side, he could be a priceless signing. A few messages before we get to our last question. Richard James got in touch to say, good evening, Willie. I hope you have a great week. And he put a photo on of you drinking what looks like champagne with Sir Matt Busby. So that's quite a lovely picture.
Oh, my God. I'll have to have a look at that, Richard. It was very rare that the gaffer drank champagne. He was a whiskey drinker, the old man. He liked his whiskey. And I saw one the other day that someone sent of me and Bestie with a couple of bottles of champagne, the two of us. I don't know where it was. So anyway, thank you, and I will have a look at it.
And another message from This username is Spike1297. So Spike1297 has just said, Willie Morgan on the wing. Nothing better, nothing I've ever seen. There you go. That's a lovely message.
Very kind, Spike. I was looking for my old books, but I can't find them. I was going to clean them up and see if I could get signed for next season, but I don't think coaches would want anyone like me or George or Dennis or Bobby. They just want robots. So, but Spike, thank you for those kind words.
And the last question we've got, again, from another loyal listener in Lynn Cameron. Willie, what was your favourite home international match? Was it to play against England or was it to play against one of the other home nations, and why?
The match, obviously, that stays with us, stays with me and forever, was when we beat Czechoslovakia to qualify for the World Cup. That, above all, was phenomenal. The home internationals were always a little bit different because you've been playing all season, and in fact, Hampden was always bare. There wasn't a blade of grass on the pitch, and invariably bone hard. So, but the two matches that I remember playing at Hampden, I said that one in particular when we qualified for the World Cup that night. The other one was playing against Brazil at Hampden. We played against Brazil before we went to the World Cup, which was very special. But just, just walking out at Hampden was fantastic. Just to, put the blue shirt on and walk out was just it's a feeling you can't really put it into words. It's just very special. It makes you feel very humble. So,
and I think that's something that, as a Scotsman hosting the show, I just love to see that passion and emotion there in your voice, because so many young boys grow up dreaming of playing for Scotland, dreaming of playing for their club. And not only did you play for Scotland, you played for a club in Manchester United that are known the world over as well. So absolutely incredible.
Yeah, well, we just got lucky. We were the lucky ones, from the village. And Alan Hansen, he got lucky as well. Came out of the village as well. Super player. As was his brother. You probably won't know that John, his brother, was a great player. In fact, played for Scotland. He was a right back. So, no, it's, as they say in Scotland, what's for you won't go past you. So, I just got lucky.
Before we go, anything you would like to say to address the listeners?
Just thanks for listening, wherever you are in the world. There's always, I wish I could meet you all. It'd be lovely. It'd be absolutely lovely. And for the viewers on YouTube, it's a privilege for me to be able to do this with Callum. I'm sure he could have picked a lot of other people. And I look forward to our next chat, and say just thanks for listening. I really do appreciate it.
Well, there you go. Thank you for listening from Willie. And of course, remember, get your questions in. Nothing's off limits. We've had questions in the past about TV shows, about meals, and all things football. So get them in, and we'll be back with you in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you very much.